Welcome. I'm happy you joined the lecture at 5TRACKS. It's a unique location near the railway, and we had the privilege to design the whole interior of this building. I first want to demonstrate our pride, our curtains. We designed the curtains, light and space for thought, like you're at this moment in the cloud. Is it closed? Yeah. I want to introduce with who I am, and I'm Wendy Plomp, designer and design director of Dutch Invertuals. I'm a mother of and we take the children everywhere we go. So for us, the children family is part of our way of living, but also in our work. So family is important to have around us during the creative journey we also have. Together with my partner, Remco van der Kraats of Studio EDV, who designed the whole identity for this building, and what led into a very good collaboration between his studio and Dutch Invertuals to design a 3D identity. A little bit how it started, but because I don't know, do you know Dutch Invertuals? Yeah. For the ones who doesn't know or do not know, 16 years ago it started as an idea I was asked to, as a designer, to showcase Dutch design in Milan during the Salone dei Mobili. And it's a very known fair, and we said like, hey, maybe it's interesting to collaborate with different disciplines in the design field to show more than just furniture or just luxury objects. So we started Dutch Invertuals. In our own world, young, rebellious, still am, to do things in a different way, to make a change. This continued and grew into a strong team of designers in our studio, and we worked together, Studio EDV and Dutch Invertuals, and that made it also, after 16 years, a strong company or design studio to do these projects and also keep the rebellious mindset and see things from different perspectives. This is us, and we are always challenging and ourselves to stay creative. So this is a bit who we are. Our studio, our creative process in the studio. Sometimes 3D modeling is not helping enough, so we need to directly make things to have an outspoken result. We work together with a lot of designers, so from the beginning we always worked with different kind of designers from different disciplines, because I'm very curious in the new experts in the field. So we tell stories together, we sit together, we do research, and we show the characters within the design field. That makes it like how Dutch Invertuals operates is like we have our studio, foundation and academy, and in the foundation we have space to explore, to do research. In the studio we use that experience and results for the projects we do, and we have an academy to share our knowledge and to share a way of thinking, because we can. This is some projects we did back and forth. We presented after this first time in Milan, 2009. We presented every year during the Salone dei Mobili, and that became for us a good base to present ourselves, promote ourselves, but also do research with different designers in the field, and also scout new designers. This was about the structure, the pillars of our system are falling down, and we need to find new kind of rituals. We also created for Selfridges, for their luxury products, we played with objects to survive with. So tape and a luxury bag together formed a nice characters for their window display. We worked together with a recreation park, Droomparken, for tiny offices. So offices, alternative offices for a way of thinking or life planning on the recreation parks. So very tiny offices. Already here you see us playing with different kind of materials, colors. Here you see the storytelling we do. But also we play with materiality and play with color to create an intense experience in front of the windows. But we also saw this window opportunity to go 9 meters high instead of the normal window display height. And we played with our little spirits of the forest, which are mystical, lighten up. It's an exciting project to do. The whole studio is a bit messed up after these projects. But for us, it's also important to discuss new materials, to see in a world which is changing, to see what is important to work with and what kind of new materials could be potential for the future. We also created this exhibition about objects for a new kind of society, to see how old ways of thinking and living in societies will change. So this is a little bit insights of all the projects we do. And now to the request of designing future workscapes. We hope we designed a future workscape. I hope people who work here feel comfortable in the work surroundings. Is there anybody who works now here at 5TRACKS building? You? Oh, not yet. Oh. In 5 weeks. Oh, okay. And where are you going to stay? Platform B. And oh, nice. Yeah, nice new concept. And somebody else? I saw some. And how How does it feel?
It feels very nice to working spaces.
But do you hear also other reactions, or how do people react to it so far?
Most people are very it's great to work here.
Okay, that's nice. And anybody else is anybody else happy about his work environment? Anybody? No, maybe not enough. Okay, we can discuss that later. But yeah, what we notice is that technology is taking to a big scale, of course, and it will give us constantly new opportunities to work in a different way, but also work faster and more efficient. So work environments need to adapt to that. So a way of working we had in the 90s, yeah, that changed. I'm happy that that changed, because I think in a kind of gray cubicle is not really a very inspiring environment. So this kind of way of working and how we translate work is also not as we experience it today. It's we are more and more based on a way of working should be how we live our daily lives, how we collaborate, or how we relate to each other in our society. On our work environment should be the same if you 1/3 spend your life at the office. So how can we bring that to a next level? So we formulate 5 insights into the way we will work in the future. If you have any questions, just let me know, because sometimes it's interesting to continue the conversation after that. So post-individualism is one of the 5 insights we had. Is like, how can we, after COVID and after the experience in working at home, how can we change from there? How can we, after COVID, I don't know how everybody worked back then, but how can we work together and keep this meaningful connection all together? How can we create, and that changed a lot after COVID. It was important to work from home or bring your home to your work. So that is something we think it's important to keep, to stay relevant, but also to keep this contact, human contact on the work floor. I think it's important to work more together than instead working remotely from home. We noticed that with our academy, in a time of COVID, we learned how to work remotely. So therefore, we also this is Dutch Invertuals Academy. We started in the COVID time, so it was also to stay relevant to see these screens popping up of all the living rooms or bedrooms or small rooms. All the designers or creatives needed to have one place to connect, a platform to connect, to be relevant and to stay together and to have the conversation, keep on having the conversation basically. Hyperconnectivity. So there's a lot of technology around us, and also what gives us a constant focus. We are constant busy with our data and to get data, and how are we? What will we do with this new way of communicating? So we asked Teresa Fernandez-Pelo to create a digital installation that turns invisible data flows into visible patterns, unveiling this hidden reality and creating space for contemplation. So her piece emphasizes on the importance of slowing down, taking a closer look to uncover the invisible, raising questions about our society's dependence on technology. But we also, and that we also notice here with 5TRACKS Wellness at the Core, putting well-being at the center to counter the sustainability of a profit-driven economic system and create space for physical and mental health. One project we did, we wanted to there's a disconnection from the natural flow of nature, overshadowed by screen addiction, we call it, and the fleeting dopamine hits from the constant stimulation. This is something we need to change. This is a short part of our flow installation, which was meant to keep you away of a few moments from your phones and to contemplate. But this is also interesting to see in this time frame and the future of technology, how we also can have our these kind of moments. Rethinking resources. We constantly need to be aware of the materials we use, but we also can create and show new materials and to play with the materials we produce nowadays. So here Théophile Blondet, he created a cabinet made out of the white plastics, which is banned in the EU in and to showcase the materials behavior, but also showcase the value of materials, and to see it as the last, so repositioning plastic as the ivory. He challenged our perception of worth to it, and I think we need to play with materials, but also with the waste of it. And here's a nice example of using the slag of raw metal. The last insight we had during this exhibition, we showcased the work of Carlo Lorenzetti. This exhibition, the way we work, was a starting point for to work with 5TRACKS. To work with 5TRACKS was also, we also needed this research with different designers to see how we can react to this time frame and the way of the office should work. And the daily rituals you have is plugging in, start working remotely, logging in with your computer. So here Carlo Lorenzetti created this socket object, the multi-plug connected to lights, to showcase this mundane object for our daily rituals. And I think while we work here 1/3 of our time, it's also important to have a very human environment. As we rely more on digital devices and screens, it is important to bring human elements and natural materials, forms and textures into our future environments. And that's what we did with 5TRACKS. For us, it was important to create and design from organic form languages, and to create different kind of patterns, textures, and to bring that to a human scale, to get away from the screens and to be inspired by the materials and textures you see around you. With these insights, we asked designers, and we worked on a collection of products. They are all connected to our way of working. So we created from the patterns we created in the exhibition, and the hand draw intuitively made patterns. We created this carpet. We thought, like, for all the objects and all the whole environment of 5TRACKS, we constantly asked ourselves, can we do it our way? Can we do it better? Can we give it identity? And how can we give it a human touch? Some nice moments. This is a mock-up of the sitting element at the entry. So we were asked by 5TRACKS first to create a mood board. From the mood board and a lot of conversations further, there was a silence of a year or 1.5, because 5TRACKS needed to be built. And then we got a phone call to continue to plan the space, to work together with the architect and with Vigo of 5TRACKS, and that made it a quite interesting journey, because we could start creating from scratch but also bring in the identity. Is there sound? Oh, there's sound. So here we see the object we created from the beginning is also to inspire the space and to really walk through the environment like a landscape. You want to be connected, but on the other hand, you also want to be surprised by the unique form languages of objects. Like nature, we have created this socket rocks just to plug in and connect. For the 5TRACKS interview, we also decided to say we can create different kind of landscapes, different kind of areas have different functions. So we created these tracks like the rail track, of course, but by using different kind of materials and play with all the texture and colors, we hope it inspires and creates a different kind of work environment. So this is made out of caroc, the butter track. Anybody, any questions or something? No? Okay. Of course, it's important to have this very natural environment. So we added, together with the architects and Vigo, a lot of plants, and could have been even more. But this made it also a very special space to wander around. So here you see the track table we designed, but also the lights. Yeah, I'm focusing on the tracks. Yeah, we wanted to make an iconic identity. So an identity to, why not? Like we creating a lot of exhibitions, we work with a lot of interesting designers, and you see the creativity, you see the outburst of form languages. And sometimes you really miss that in an office. You miss the freedom to create or to show this kind of environment. So I also tried to find a way to work with the boundaries. There's a budget, there's a space, there's a function. So you definitely need to find the balance in that. And to play with these kind of form languages, you still have your centerpiece, you still have your unique element in the space, but it is within the budget, within the needs. And also by adding these lights in this high space, in this big space, we also noticed that it brings intimacy. So it brings also this library feeling that you really want to sit there and work, and you don't feel lost in the space, because the space is very high. So by not hanging big sculptural lights, which is also maybe too heavy load above you or too much like a prestigious centerpiece, we wanted to create a colorful, vibrant, unique object, which we hope works also that way, of course. But also that is with everything we do, also with these socket rocks and these, it's basically a gallery pieces that you can sell in a very prestigious gallery, but we wanted to bring it to everybody. It's not something to, we didn't want to limit ourselves in giving shape and having ideas. So we also had the idea of why not creating our own lights, because they needed a lot of lights for the table. We designed these, but also we thought like, hey, it's interesting to have them as wall pieces as well, because it is like an extruded version of lights. So we designed a light which is a wall light, table light, hanging light, but therefore that way we challenged ourselves to create this piece, but also we brought a whole new collection into 5TRACKS, but also a whole new identity. So 5TRACKS has original design objects, and I think it's really interesting to instead of showcase certain brands, you create your own pieces. Yeah, all this production, research, designing behind it took, of course, a lot of time and effort, but also a lot of joy and discovering, and yeah, why not? So these little fellows are everywhere in the building now. They're super sweet. And during the process, we created a maquette, which was the old school way. Of creating a maquette, because the 3D modeling wasn't sufficient enough to really understand where what was going to happen, and we couldn't oversee well all the colors. So therefore we decided to make this maquette to show also to everybody. So and now this maquette became a reality. It's funny to see. Basically, we walk around in a maquette. Yeah, for us it's important to have texture and tactility and reflection in all the materials and objects we used or created, and everywhere should be this human scale into it. So therefore we asked designer, architect to design this bar. We used this elderflower pattern in the RVS bar, which is standing out and a centerpiece of the space and reflecting the people working in there. Yeah, we had fun, but doesn't looks a bit out of the blue. But it's the whole process was, of course, quite interesting and unique, that you could work from the identity into the 3D forming with the architect together, with also the real estate companies together, to really create this one story. And although the process was quite intense in that sense, but a beautiful process if you see now the outcome. And also to be able to have this challenge to do this is also interesting for us. So we had the chance to build up a collection of beautiful objects, which is for us really exciting. A lot of materiality. And even wanted to have this unique, attractive objects for at the entry space, we said like, hey, maybe this blue chair, we can try to design it ourselves to really use this simple form language to tell a story at the entrance of the space and to be brutally simple. Yeah, this is my son activating the chair. I always wanted to design a chair. Now we designed a chair, so somehow I think it's nice we could do that. But also we played together with our network of designers. We asked them to design the same chair, and they designed their own version of the chair. It's we call the exhibition specimen. These are all the characters in the design field who showcase the qualities and their style of creating. And this way, it's for us, it's important to stay connected with the creative field and to work together and to create more beautiful work environments where creativity is central, because by designing workspaces that nurture connection, creativity and well-being, we can create places where people actually want to spend the third of their lives. So I think it's important to stay creative and don't lose the human connection, work together, and don't get misled by all the technology around you. Yeah, that's it. Any questions? Sorry? I just looked it up. We started this request. I saw email and some mood board sketches in 2019. And then we had a lot of conversation in 2020. So I remember we had this online conversation. So for me, Roderick, my the client, was for me super digital. So we had this digital conversation constantly. And I remember also when we really got to work on the interior design, we shifted also from a more hospitality setting to a more work environment setting. So we also were constantly looking for what kind of functions do we need in this future way of working. So, and back then we were used to work from home at that point, of course. But afterwards, it was like, yeah, but you need to connect again. You need to have flexible workspaces, of course, but also normal workspaces. So it's interesting to see what how hybrid it became. Yeah.
If you got to redesign your own workspace, what would you learn from this?
I will do it again, but I think it's still interesting. Yeah, to ask different designers to come up with different ideas, because I think we all create this different kind of identity. So I think it's a very strong, creativity is important in that. And also to maybe, the freedom we had with this project, that we could create this purple track table and add these lights to it. It's also, you need to have a client who let this kind of creativity to realize that. So I think that is for us really important to, or that's in future workscapes important to create a creative environment where you get inspired, because it's a human connection, it's a human space. So it's important to embrace that. Yeah.
Did you get one big budget and they said, go for it? Or how did you
No, it was and that's a bit like if you have the freedom, the total freedom and the budget, then you always create your own parameters, of course. But the budget was not that. It was given for every chapter, let's put it that way. But there was not an unlimited budget or something. Of course, we needed to work within the possibilities. Like, okay, if you can buy a €2,000 chair, then I can make a chair for you, you know. So we were also figuring out how can you work with the limits you had, and how can you create it in a different way. And I think you can be creative as well within limited budget, of course. Is that the answer to your question? Yeah, it was really a chapters, because otherwise the project is also too big to handle immediately, but also there were some priorities, of course. So we have still time left for some drinks. And if you like to see more of if you want to see the works, or you want to go into some meeting rooms or spaces, we can do a little tour. That's maybe nice for some people who never saw it before. And thanks for your attention. I found it super exciting to talk about this, and I think give me all the feedback you have, because we need to shape up this story, because we want to tell more people now, most of all because this is Office Building of the Year with the Architectuur Award. So they were very proud of the interior design, of course. So we can celebrate this award, of course. So thank you.